All right. Hello, internet friends. This is Danielle Pierce, creator of Real Estate Profit Lab. Coming to you today, I'm speaking with a very special guest. Her name is Jasmine. We'll be talking very shortly about her experience with property preservation, the course, the starting a business, she's in the very early stages. And so I think her story will be very helpful to many of you who are considering the business or have been on the fence for a while. But before we do that, as always, come in, hit the like, subscribe, and share button. If you're brand new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Jasmine, what made you get started? First of all, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good.
You're doing good. You took a day off work.
I did.
Got you. What made you start property preservation? What made you want to start that business?
Well, I didn't even know that this was a thing, right? So I didn't know it had a name or anything. So when I very first wanted to start doing something like this, it was because there was a house next door to us and it was vacant from the time we moved in. It was vacant for maybe 3 years probably. And then a guy came one day and my husband was outside doing some stuff and he was like, hey man, you know, it's a lot of nice stuff in this house. Do you want to come in and maybe see what you could see? And my husband is always, he's like a junk. He's country. He's like, he loves junk and stuff like that. And so he came to tell me about it and I went over there, but I started talking to the guy like, what are you doing? How are you doing this? And you know, how are you doing? He was like, yeah, they're just paying me $800 to get all of this stuff out of this house. And I was like, wow, really? He was like, yeah. I'm like, you're gonna get, it was so much stuff. The people like literally left everything in the house, like all of their furniture, like everything. And it was junky. They left everything in there. And so I was telling my husband, I was like, man, they paying him $800 to get all of this stuff out. I was like, we can do that. I was like, we need to figure out how to do that. And he was doing it just for a rental company.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's how it started.
Yeah.
But I looked into it a little bit, but I really didn't look into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, this was probably 2 years prior to me seeing you on Facebook. I saw your video on Facebook. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that sounds like what that guy was doing.
Yeah.
And so I clicked it. And I mean, I've been following you ever since. YouTube, every video, everything, everything that I could possibly learn. Telling my husband, like, hey, you remember back when that guy was doing it? It's a thing. It's actually a real thing. It's called property preservation. Me telling my husband, like, oh, really? Yes, we about to do this. I'm telling him at this point, I'm kind of dragging him, like, yeah, we're gonna do this. But yeah, that's
it's always the women, like, way out here.
Like when I very first saw it, I was automatically like, yes, we're going to do this. We're going to do it. She told me to take this little quiz and everything on this quiz, I can do that. Yes. I was all about it.
When did you actually start the program? Because you started like weeks ago, right?
Yes. So initially, the very first live lunch summit you did, I did that.
Okay.
Because I was like, my money was kind of funny, and I was like, oh, let me just try it out. And I just told my husband, I said, I'm just gonna do it and see what happens. And when I got into doing the, because you gave us the 5 challenges for the first 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just perfect. It just walked me through everything. And when I got done with it, and then you were offering, I saw it again where you were offering it the whole full course, like discounted. I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to do it because the way the live lunch summit was set up and how it helped me so much, just walk me through the whole thing. I had to see what the rest of the course was like to get through it. And I did that on November 2nd.
November 2nd. And we are basically about 6 weeks out. All right. And you are in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yes.
Yeah, the first, I talked to Tiffany. I don't know if you caught that video on YouTube, but she's also working out of Memphis. And she is another hustler, grinder, just, like, we gonna get this and make it happen. Like, so y'all should probably connect because I think
I know we can connect. I would love to connect with her. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. So do you plan on working with family and friends? Is that kind of what's this deal with that?
So I wanted to do everything just the way you said it, and don't even include any family, don't include anybody. But my husband said that he would help me with smaller things, like the things that
grass
that
cuts, lock
a
changes.
lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah, those type things. I'm like, we can kind of do that, and because it's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I do have 2 contractors I brought on to help me. I actually got a young lady to reach out to me in one of these Facebook group that I'm in,
Yeah.
wanting to do the yard work, the lawn services. She wants to do that, just exclusively do those.
Yeah.
And I have two guys that I brought on
Yeah.
as contractors.
Where do
So
you have them at?
I found, one guy, he does stuff for me and my mom all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna have him do things that I know that he knows how to do. Like, I know he knows how to do. He does stuff in my house. He does stuff in my mom's house. So I know him anyway.
Okay.
And he is, just like a handyman guy. Like
Okay.
he does that. And then the other guy I found on when I put my the information on Indeed.
Yep.
I found him from Indeed.
Okay.
So now I don't really know him. I don't really, so I have to see, like, if he actually can do, they say I can do everything.
I told you, they all say that.
Yeah, I can do everything. I can do this and that and that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, all right. So he says he can do everything.
Yep.
I hope he can do everything.
Yep.
But yeah, so the smaller things my husband we're gonna do.
Yeah.
What he's gonna do. And and yeah. So, but I do have the 2 contractors, and I'm gonna look into the young lady that reached out to me about doing lawn services. So that was just today. She actually reached out to me this morning. So yep.
Yeah. So you're kind of an interesting case, Jasmine, because you were not quite finished with the course, and you had already applied to start working with partner with these different companies, and then they reached back out like, "Hey, what's good?" And you were like, "Oh, not yet."
I was like, no. So I mean, literally, I looked in this paper. So I wrote down all of the dates that I applied to every company, because I did it over a 2-day period. And the 2 companies that I onboarded with were Guardian and Brookstone.
Brookstone, yeah.
So I filled them out on the 24th and the 25th. And then on the 26th, they were like, "Oh yes, I didn't even know it was. I thought it was just like a routine thing. I didn't think that they were actually trying to like bring me on board.
Yeah.
Like for real, like as a vendor. I was like, no, this is not what she said. This is not supposed to go. She said it would be 2 weeks. Maybe I'm waiting 3 months. Not a day before." So yeah, it really freaked me out. I was so glad when Thanksgiving came around, because it just kind of gave me a break to kind of try to kind of soak it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could not believe it. I was really, and I wasn't ready. I didn't have any subcontractors. My worst fear in this whole thing was to get work orders and not have anybody to do the work orders. And I'm like, oh my God, my worst fear is coming true.
Oh my God. But that's all okay though. Those are all good problems to have and not the end of the world. But you have a 9-to-5. So what has been your experience like managing that? Because a lot of people are in that same exact situation. Some people are like, I'm gonna quit my job. I'm like, no, don't quit your job. No need to do that. So what's your plan for that?
Well, I have a 2-year plan. So I actually plan to try to do this for 2 years with property preservation and my job.
And the job. Okay.
So I want to work my job. I mean, if it goes really well, maybe I can knock it down to a year,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, I know it's going to be slow starting out. So I want to just give myself the time. I'll say 2 years to work my job and do this at the same time, which is what I'm doing. When I very first started doing this, I had a part-time job. So when I just started taking a course and was doing all of that, I had my full-time job, I had a part-time job, and then I would do all of the course stuff, all of the studying stuff at night when my kids went to sleep. I stayed up to 3 o'clock in the morning doing that.
God.
And then, yes, I was very 3 o'clock in the morning. That was my cutoff time. Yeah. Then I got up. I had to be at work. I had to be on the clock at 6 o'clock.
Oh
So,
my
but I'm
God.
working from home, so that wasn't, like super hard or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was doing this and working 2 jobs.
Wow.
So yeah.
But it sounds like your jobs had some level of flexibility though, right? Like you're working from home and you were
Yeah,
able
on
to.
my first job, yeah, I
Yeah.
work from home, but I quit the other job because I couldn't do that anymore because
Okay.
it wouldn't give me any type of flexibility, the part-time job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I quit that job and I work from home. So it makes it so it's easier. It just
Yeah.
flows. And with my day, I can still do everything that I need to do with this,
Hmm.
with the property preservation business
Hmm.
and do my work too. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
You
working
have
out.
kids at home too?
Yes, I have an 11-year-old
Okay.
and my daughter. She just turned 2 on Wednesday.
11 and 2, Jasmine. That's what we doing.
11 and 2. Okay, I'm coming
Okay.
for guys. I was
Uh,
completely done, but here she is. Yeah, she just turned 2.
that's how they
So,
be. They just pop up sometimes. You be like, oh, how you get here?
yeah, where you come from? Well, yeah, I'm hoping she's about to wake up from a nap in a minute. I'm like, please don't bust in here because she'll bust in here in a second.
Yeah, mine have made appearance through pretty much every single person I've talked to. Here they come.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Either in the background, one just came and opened the door, wanted to know what happened to her bath water, and I'm just the maid around here apparently. So
I promise you, goes on all day long. When I'm
results so far. I know that you're just starting out, but you've gone through everything very um, straightforward, very directly. You've followed all the steps. Was it easy for you to follow the
exactly.
steps?
It was super easy.
Yeah.
Everything was so easy. I mean, if you I followed the steps exactly.
Yeah.
Like I did exactly what you said to do. And yeah, I mean, there
Yeah.
was nothing complicated about it. It was nothing like super hard about it.
Yeah.
I just did exactly what you said to do
Yeah.
in all the videos. I was toggling back and forth between doing the challenges
Yeah.
and going through the coursework in the course.
Yeah.
So I was just toggling back and forth. Yeah, but everything, I didn't try to do my own thing. I didn't try to change up or add to the recipe. I just did exactly what I did exactly what you said to do. And
If
it was really simple. And I didn't think that I would even get through it that fast. But yeah, I was just
really,
consistent with making sure I worked on it every single day.
yeah.
But yeah, I did it and it was fine.
So it
Everything
sounds,
like it should have.
yeah. Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
so glad to hear that. You'd be amazed at how rare it is to hear somebody say, "Well, I just did what was in there."
Yeah, I mean it's just nothing. I just did exactly how I followed the steps exactly how you said to do it, and I didn't deviate,
Yeah,
and I got the result that you were looking to give. You know.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
what's your plan though? Because it sounds like you're gonna be on board with two companies, right? Once you get your contract, like, what's your plan going forward? Into 2021.
Well, um, I know that right now it's kind of slow with I can never pronounce that word.
Pandemic.
Yeah, the
Oh, the
moratorium.
moratorium. Yeah,
Moratorium. Yeah,
yeah.
it was extended till the 31st.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping to start to pick up something, um, and I'm hoping to start picking up some things in January.
Yeah,
Um, and the goal is to start picking up work orders, get as many as I can. I
yeah,
didn't want to onboard with any more companies, no more than 2. I thought because you said, one would be enough, and then I onboarded with 2, and I was
yeah,
like, I'm not gonna do any more.
yeah,
So and so now I'm at a place where I don't know if I should try to onboard more companies to see if they have more work,
yeah.
but I'm
It's okay to
trying
do more.
to,
You can always scale back later. You have to
okay,
figure out which one is going to have the most volume of work there for your particular location. And I'll
yeah,
connect you with Tiffany. If you don't see it within the next day or so, send me an email, and I'll connect
okay,
you guys over email so you guys can figure out where she's getting most of her work from. And
mm-hmm.
then obviously that'll be helpful for you as well. I mean, I just think that I believe 100% that there's enough work for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
There just is. I mean, these companies have, hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. So surely that, we all can work and and get a piece of that. That's my personal philosophy on that.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely true. And that's why I'm saying I'm gonna stick it out. Like, I know it's gonna come. The work is gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to be patient with everything that's going on with the pandemic. But the goal is to get to $5,000 a month.
Yep.
That's my first. Well, I don't want to say it's my first goal, but that's the goal, to get to $5,000 a month. That's how much I want to be bringing in.
Yeah.
It's 5,000 a month. And just get closer and closer. And then I want to also expand into Mississippi and Arkansas. And I set the goal to do that within 8 months. That was just my goal. Within 8 months, I want to go into Mississippi and I want to go into Arkansas, because I had a young lady at Proven when I set my stuff up with Proven. Her name is Rebecca.
Rebecca, yeah.
Yeah, she had so many companies. They called me, reaching out to me to bring me on board as a vendor to work in Arkansas.
Interesting. Yeah.
Man, it was like two companies. It was two companies. But I mean, I don't even have anybody,
How far are you from Arkansas? How far is the Arkansas border from where you're at?
West Memphis, Arkansas is like literally like 15 minutes probably away from my house. But they were further into Arkansas.
Yeah.
They were like 3 hours away from me. So it was a little bit too far. And he was telling me then he was like, we only have 3 properties right now that needs to be serviced, but they're 3 hours away. I was like, yeah, that's too far for me right now.
Yeah.
So but yeah, eventually I want to get there. I want to scale the business to where I can get into Mississippi and into Arkansas. Yeah. Because the contractors that I have, like, they already work in Mississippi and Arkansas. Yeah. Like, they find it. So
how far is Mississippi? The border?
Mississippi is South Haven. I'm right at the edge of South Haven, Mississippi. And it's probably 20 minutes away from me. Maybe 30 minutes. It's not that far though.
So you're like set up in an area like DMV where you can get to DC, Maryland, Virginia in like 20 minutes. So that's so interesting. I never knew that. So West Memphis, Arkansas. What did you say? What was the city called in Mississippi?
South Haven.
South Haven.
Yeah, South Haven, Memphis. Olive Branch. I'm just right there. Yeah. Just hop and skip. Mm-hmm.
What do you envision your day-to-day looking like? What's the plan for that?
My day-to-day with this is to be, I want it to be as smooth as possible, and I want people to just do exactly
do what I say. That's it. Let's do what I say.
Do what I say to do, But no, I envision to be working this only. If I could just do this only and be home with my kids and only do property preservation. Yeah. And eventually have my husband come home and not have to, like, we just work this business. Yeah. That's what I want it to look like, to this business, and have other people, working it. Yeah. And we are on this side. Yeah. Doing. That's the ultimate goal, is to just do this. Yeah. Because I believe that we can do it. Yeah. With just this.
Yeah. That certainly is the case. I was just talking to Tracy. She works in the Chicago market. You'll see her video at some point on YouTube. And we were talking about saturation. And I was just like, yeah, people always ask about that, but saturation really is not a factor for those people who are internally motivated and who do a good job and who are consistent. Because many people think that saturation is something to be scared of. Like, oh, there's so many people doing that, I don't want to do that. Let me do something brand new. But if you're doing something that's brand new, the concept hasn't been proven yet. And so you're probably not going to do that well in it, because nobody has spent money in that thing, whatever it is. So the opportunity, like, people look at it the wrong way, I think. Like, you want things that people are doing already, and then you just want to get in there and kind of make your mark and kind of claim your space. At least that's my thought on that. So
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, totally agree.
Any advice for people who are thinking about the industry, thinking about the business? What would you tell them to do?
I would say jump in on it, because, like I say, I believe the work is coming. Like, I think it's gonna be a flood of work. Yeah. And as far as how to do it, I wouldn't have been able to do any of this on my own, like without the course.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have been able to do it without the steps that I had to do it. I mean, it was just so simple, and it wasn't hard at all.
Yeah.
Just, you get the course, you follow it, and you can have a whole complete business in property preservation and apply for the companies, and if the work is there, they're going to bring you on board.
Yeah. You
It's
sound
so,
like you got good grades in school. Like you were just a top student.
I wasn't.
You were? No? Really?
I was a good student. I mean, I wasn't like a straight A student.
Oh, okay.
I made a couple D's in college. I did.
Yeah. I made 1D in college. It was economic statistics, 173. I'll never forget. My first and only D in my life.
Really? No, I made a couple D's in college. In my senior year in college.
Your senior year?
Yeah, it was horrible. You know how you meet a guy and then, you just kind of
see.
But yeah. No, I just like, I just do what I'm supposed to do,
Yeah.
If you say do it this way, then that's just what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
If I feel like this the right way, like then I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I think it was just so cut and dry. And I just love your personality, right? Because it's kind of just like mine, when it's just like no extra fluff, and it's just like, oh, you just do this. Like a young lady asking me, like, what did you do and how did you do it? Well, you just do this and you do this, and then that's all. Yeah. It's not a whole lot of extra stuff that you have to put into things. And people will be like, you're just so nonchalant. I'm like, I'm not. It's just this and that.
I hear that every day, Jasmine. Every day, somebody is like, oh, you just said that like you didn't care. I was like, you interpreted that from, I just stated a fact. That's all I did
and that is all I ever say. Like, these are factual things. I say this all the time. These are just facts. And I don't know how to, if it's the fact, it's just the fact. I don't know. But yeah, people tell me how they like, you're so nonchalant, and I wouldn't even, you never, like, the lady gonna tell me, I didn't know that you went to Lane. I didn't know that you went to college. I didn't know. Yeah, I did. I mean, what do people do? Walk around all day and say, I went to college? I don't know. Like, you don't act like, I don't know, what do people act like?
Right. Like, what was she trying to say with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm going on somewhere. But yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I think that's all the questions I have for you, Jasmine. I just wanted to say that you seem like you may be I usually get a lot of overachievers that come through the program, or people who are just like, I feel like I'm behind. I'm like, I just want to assure you that you're extremely far ahead. You're not behind at all, that you've done you've had amazing progress. And I mean, your mindset and your motivation and your why, I think you're so solid right now. Like, you literally don't even need anything else. Like, you got it all.
Thank you. I'm hoping to make you proud. I want to do.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to use the word proud, but I just like to see people doing the thing that they want to do, like getting the result, and then being at home. If you want to be at home with being at home with your kids, I mean, it's cool and all, but I'd be like, whew, can I go to somebody else's house? They cool and all, but it's like all day, every day.
All day, every day. Yeah, I know. I get that too. I feel like that too, And I tell my husband all the time, you never want these kids to ever leave. Why? Why don't you ever want them to leave? I want them to leave sometimes. I think they should go to your mom's house for like the weekend.
Yeah.
Like, I like my kids. I do. I like them. They are awesome. But yeah, all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I do. I want to get home with them. I don't want to have to go back to work and like into the office, and I don't want to have to do that. But yeah, I'm doing this for them though. So all of this is all for them.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad to hear that. So you guys, again, if you're just tuning in, I'm Danielle Pierce. I'm talking to Miss Jasmine, working out of the Memphis, Tennessee market with her property preservation company. She got started in November, so she's very, very early in the process, but already got a company up and running, got the insurance, hired a couple contractors on standby that are ready to get started. And so I just wanted to share her story because I think it's important to talk to people who are longtime students, people who are in the middle, and people who are just getting started, so that you can kind of see where you fit in. Jasmine, excellent work, excellent progress.
Thank
Guys,
you.
leave some words of encouragement or compliments or affirmations for Jasmine as she continues to grow her business for her husband and family and the 11 and 2-year-old, because that, my friends, is what it's all about. All right. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Jasmine, for your time. You guys come back here tomorrow, same time, same place for the next video interview. And as always, sending you love, light, peace, blessings, grace, and clarity. All right. Bye-bye.